Morning, guys. Well, this morning I'm back on the golf cart project. And what I want to do is I want to get some steering in here. Now, I got a 1-inch tubing set up in the tubing bender there, and I want to go ahead and come out about a foot here and across to create the dash, which will also be the mount for the steering wheel. And I'm going to run down to the store and get all I need to mount the steering wheel today. But when I look at this steering, it is going to be something cool. Now, you can see there's really no way that I'm going to come out with a shaft and you join here, you join here, you join here. So, you guys are going to see some, well, what I would call rat rod, redneck type engineering to get this, this steering to work. And you guys are going to have fun watching it come together. I'm not even going to tell you how I'm doing it, but watch the videos and you'll see. Now, today, right now I'm working on this. We got to get this, this is going to be the dash, this 1-inch tubing. And one of the hardest things about tubing fabrication is when you do a loop, basically two bends like this guy here, okay? So you got this guy, this bend here, this bend here. Well, this has to end up the right dimension here. Well, in the bender, you're taking up tubing as you're wrapping it around the die. So to get the dimension correct is one of the difficult parts. But I have, since I've gotten to know my bender, I've gotten to know how to do it pretty well. And we'll see how close I get on this. So I could be setting myself up for some embarrassment here. So let's just do the work and see how it turns out. So I know I want it to come out a foot. So I'm going to start, that's an 8-inch mark right there. And I know that we have 4.5 inches of inside diameter here is what the die is. So if I have 8 of straight and then I do my bend, I should end up with 12.5. So let's see how that goes. A little WD-40 on the pipe. Good. Friction is no bueno. Now I'm not able to do a total 90, so I'm going to have to move this. Pin and pick up another hole on the die there. There we go. That looks awfully close. Let's give it a check. just a touch further, I think we'll have it. I'm liking that. So that one, that's where that one's staying. Actually, I'm going to go a touch further. Well, looks like a 90 to me. So I need roughly 48 inches center to center. I got the ½ inch there, which makes 43 and a half. So basically, if I start my bend right there, theoretically, I should end up 48 center to center. Like I said, I might be setting myself up for embarrassment, but let's give it a shot. That again looks just about right. But the tubing, like I mentioned in a before video, it's a little soft and it's very flexible. The bend is flexible when you first do it. So right now it's at 90 degrees. But if I release the tension on that piece of tubing, it's going to spring back a couple of degrees. So I like to go just a little bit over. Okay, am I going to be embarrassed or not? Let's see here. You can see it came out real flat, laying flat on the table there. I just kind of eyeball the tubing with the die there. 48 center to center, and I ended up with 46. So either the die ate up a little bit more than I expected, or I just measured wrong. So let's see how we can make this work, because I'm not going to be using up tubing again. It's just the dash. This was the first time I actually did a hoop with 1 inch. So I'm going to have to make up, looks like about 1.5 inches. So let's see how I can do that. As we can see here, I'm not at a 90. I can bend that out and gain about a ½ inch there. This is actually a little bit less of a bend than I needed, so I'm going to leave that one alone. And I'm going to bring this one out a little bit, and maybe we can catch the center of those tubings. Off to Frankenbuggy. One inch bent out a lot easier than 1.5 inches, that's for sure. So I gained 1 inch there. Quarter there. Okay, let's see how this thing's gonna fit. You can come in just a little bit more. There we go. Now this having a little bit of angle in, it's not that critical. Now, if I made a mistake on a crucial part, a frame member, then I would have to go back and bend another piece. But this being the dash, have to bend out 1/2 inch on each side. I mean, look at that, it's hard to tell that's not even a 90. But it'll fit the tubing fine, it'll make a good dash and a mount for the steering wheel. So, I gotta run to the store. I don't know if I can end this video here or when I come back. Well, I made it back after doing a little shopping, and let me show you what I got here. Now, we gotta put together a steering system. So, first of all, I love these little hubs here. This guy here will get welded on to the shaft, and then the steering wheel gets bolted onto this. So then the shaft, so this is so you can get that correct there. Go ahead and pull your steering wheel off out of your car. It's locked in place there. You push that button and you can pull the steering wheel off. Now, I'm going to need a U-joint because my steering wheel will come up out of here at an angle. Somewhat like that. So, U-joint's important, steering wheel mount's important, and then we got some bearings here, and you'll see how those will come into play. Now, my little secret of how I'm gonna do the steering. I'm gonna create my own rack and pinion. So a little There's a little hint there. Okay? So that'll come together. So in order to make all the bends, there's no way in this tight of an area here. I mean, we only got, what was that, 10 inches? And I gotta make a series of U-joints, get down to the rack, which I'm gonna be putting down here. That's not gonna work. So that's as far as I'm gonna go with telling you how I'm gonna do it, because that's gonna be one video in itself, how I'm gonna do that, and it's gonna be a neat one, fun to watch. So I got this all bent up, ready to go. We need to make little brackets to mount those cooler bearings on. So they will end up swooping down underneath the main bars, cooler bearing on top, because it has this neat little thing here. You put oil in there, and that oil seeps through the brass and keeps that joint all lubricated. So they work perfectly. I'm gonna get busy. I'm gonna do some bending here, and we'll see how far we get putting this. I want to go 245s. It's going to go like this down to a flat spot, put the bearing right there. Let's see how close we are to 45. And we need to go up. Yeah, I'm basically going to take that as close as I can to that die, because I don't need that big a shelf to put the bearing on. That was way off. That was more like a, maybe a handle. So, it did bring it a little tighter. I don't think I'll ever end up with just 2 inches there, because basically this die ended there, that die ended there. There is 2 inches, but because of the radius there. So, we're going to go ahead and use this as it is. This one here will work out fine. These are going to be underneath the dash, we won't even see them, but there again. Learning process, and use what you made if it doesn't matter. If it's something critical like a structural piece or something, don't even cheat. Just, you got to take a new piece of tubing and do it right, using what you learned from mistakes. It really is just a learning process. You got to learn your machine. Got to learn the dies, how much tubing they make, because I tell you what, to get that loop perfect like that. I know some of you guys, you know, much more experience than I got, have your tricks, I'm sure. But see how I'm doing it. It's a learning process. Always will be. So never stop learning. When you stop learning, you die. So, you know, let's get busy on this now. I gotta make some cuts and do some welding. Kind of see what I'm creating here. This one here, the second one, is actually, that's perfect. If I would have done this one 7 instead of 11, it would have been the same as that. Would have been perfect. But this is basically the gist of what we're doing. This is going to have to be welded up under here with the bearing. So I'm going to go ahead and do those cuts, and we'll start welding. We'll take a look at this now and see what I'm doing here. So here was the one hub. I had to steal the steering wheel out of Frankenbuggy, but here's the new hub. Disconnect so you can take the steering wheel off. Need a U-joint here because this is going down at an angle. Well, let's just get into this thing. So got the steering wheel right here. You can see it's very comfortable here. And then that's a little hint of what's going to be taking place there. The countershaft sprocket there. These couple things that we bent, obviously I'm still out of CO2. I'm running down first thing in the morning to get that, but I was able to get stuff tacked. So at least so you guys can see what's going on here. So that was the bending that we did this morning. Created the dash. And then this guy here, remember this one ended up long because I was experimenting on how to get one smaller. But this gives us a place for a little dash. Put some switches there. So on. So it's looking pretty cool with the steering wheel now, and kind of start to see the driving compartment. So I do want to give a huge shout out to Rich over at Motion Sports. He's in Tucson, Arizona, off of Camino Martin, eyeing in the freeway. If you need any motorcycle repairs, ATV repairs, or I even saw a Sea-Doo in there the other day, so he must repair those. He is the man to go see. He does some of the best work in town on ATVs and motorcycles. So go see Rich over at Motion Sports. I want to thank him because he donated some parts that we need for the golf cart project. And so I just want to say thank you. Countershaft sprockets. I need a total of 5 of them for the steering system I'm going to build. And then a little piece of chain there. I'll need to buy a full chain because I'll need more than that. But this is enough to go ahead and create the rack and pinion steering, which is going to be the next thing I put together for this, because that is going to be neat. I'm going to have to change the angle of them tie rods. I'm going to have to cut them tie rods down a little bit. They're a little bit long. I need to put the rack in here. So yeah, that's going to take a little adjusting. No big deal. But I am really looking forward to getting busy on that steering system. It's late in the day here and it's getting hot, so I'm going to call it a day. I want to thank you guys for watching. I know it's kind of a sporadic day. I started out in the morning, then I had to run out, then I'm coming back. But, you know, sometimes you got to go get parts. Thanks for watching, guys. Like and subscribe to the channel, and you'll see lots of projects in the future. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you.